Hello everyone and welcome to another tournament stream. Woohoo! So I'm just waiting for the room invite to be up. Small disclaimer, there's a 3 minute delay on the stream. That is to avoid any stream sniping happening. And of course that also means that I can only now take you in my garage now that I've accepted the invite. And also if you want to get rewards you have to watch through the portal. Make sure that you have accepted cookies, that you are logged in of course. And basically that the screen stays active because otherwise it will not count the timers. Now I will stream for at least the minimum amount of time that ooh, my live streaming preview is not really working on the YouTube live control room, but there we have it. Let's see if I can fix that. But for now, I am in the room. The stream is live, so hopefully it should be fine. There we go. Now it's actually showing what it should show. Totally not stressful or anything. But yeah, hello everyone. Welcome. And now I'm just waiting for the room to drop below 3 minutes before we can actually go into the room and have a look at the teams. We are starting off with ID versus Jomon. And there we go. Just going to look at the chart. Basically, Jomon versus ID is happening together with, I think, KSR versus Risk. I think they're happening at the same time, of course. Yeah, because they're at the same level. And after that, we should... Oh, they're also playing at the same time. Okay. So all these three matches are happening at the same time. I believe that we're only streaming the lower bracket today. So we start off with Jomon versus ID, and I think Rose is streaming Kaiser versus The Redemption. So that is the plan for tonight. And after that we have another lower bracket matchup, I believe. There we go. Room is almost at 3 minutes and then we can go in and have a look there. I'm not entirely certain which map we start on because I never checked that beforehand. Mainly because I just want to make sure that I show the garage without showing the teams. But there we go. We can go into the room. We are starting it off on Naval Frontier, which looks like this. It is a nice little map. I actually quite like the way that it plays. It's a map that I don't mind regardless of what tier I play in. It can be a bit tricky with tournaments though, because you have a lot of crossfire lines and of course camping positions that people will make use of. But they also have to be careful because bushes can be blind shotted, and these guys know that if you get spotted there and there, then someone has to be in that location. So it leads to pretty clever gameplay so far that we've seen on this map throughout the, well, years by now. But yeah, 2 minutes left to go before we go into the first game of this best of 7. Meaning the first team that reaches 4 victories is through to the upper bracket. And whoever loses is through to the lower bracket. Because I think now this is already the lower bracket, so I think that whoever loses this is actually out of the tournament. GG. 1.5 minutes left to go. I'm just going to have a quick look. Basically, like when it comes to double elimination with 4 teams, I know exactly how the bracket looks. With 8 people, it's a lot more difficult. So today we have the lower bracket second round and then a lower bracket semi-final. Yeah, okay. Totally not confusing. I really need to have the bracket on hand, to be honest. That's not what I meant. I meant this. We have 1 minute left to go. I'm just going to go back into the room. I am readied up, so it's all good. I just want to get the bracket on my browser so that I know for sure what the bracket looks like. Because with 8 teams, to be fair, it is a lot harder to follow, at least for me. I'm not exactly a pro with these kind of things. There we go. Bracket is loading. Yeah, okay. So after this, we have the teams that loses these matchups are out. And that means that the pressure is on. Because with the lower bracket, basically, you've already lost once. And that means that you can no longer afford to lose again. So yeah, 5 seconds left to go before we go into the first game. And here we go. Sorry for any confusion on my end, by the way. I'm promising I can be better than this. I'm just a bit... mind is just derping. But yeah. We're missing the... I was just gonna say. Jomon is taking 2 AMX-54s. Together with an E50M, a 215B, a mouse, an LT, and a VK90. Whereas ID is taking 2 AMX-54s, a Chieftain, 2 E50Ms, a 215B, and 1 mouse. Shiki is going for the cap early on. He knows that Nuggies and Fries is heading in his direction. He is using the bush to keep tabs on the ones up top, as well as the mouse. Stays unspotted. Campon losing a little bit of HP there. Nuggies and Fries slowly moving in. Also losing HP from the crossfire from his fellow mouse on the map. And now we have Namikaze moving in. Kind of has to decap it. No, he does not. But he did force him out. Manhattan arriving at the back there. Cheeky shot. He has to be a bit careful because he has got some support. Nuggies and Fries does. But he is using the rock quite well. Namikaze is pushing in. And Manhattan is getting all the shots in. Nuggies and Fries now has a grand total of 19 HP left. That is a huge tank to literally be missing in your team. Now we have Mamba moving at the back. Pushing Kappas. Does lose HP crossing over though. And another one as he arrives. He is not alone, but it takes a bit for them to arrive. Mamba is not looking too healthy. Nishiki takes the hit, meaning that Mamba can fire again. And now we have Chitanda there as well. At the same time, Manhattan and Namikaze are now dealing with the Chieftain. Chitanda gets tracked. I Am Shinya gets taken out. Skylar runs off. Campon was in a bit of a peculiar position there. But now with Kappas gone, Jomon is pushing in, going after Skylar next. Oof, Rainy Sunshine got murdered quite rapidly there. It is now 5 versus 3. 2 bases for Jomon. Big gun advantage, big HP advantage. And they're just sort of like rolling in. Now going after Cayman. And we see my Lord RNG not having the RNG that he wants. Misses Manhattan there. Namikaze is looking the other way. Nishiki is being hunted down. He's not out for the count just yet though. Cayman not looking too healthy. The focus fire is not quite there. There's all kind of mini battles going on. But they are likely going to get away with it. Ooh. 7 HP damage there with the ram. Spartan Sword. We're already at 1k points actually. Jomon takes the first game home. And that gives a little bit of breathing space. Like, you know, you're not there yet. You still have to win 3. But you already have to win 1 less. I should have had coffee, really. Caffeine would have probably helped my being awakeness, let's say. But yeah, 1.5 minutes left before we go into the second game of this matchup. Jomon now taking 1 LT, a VK90, a mouse, an E50M, potentially 2 215Bs, and AMX-54s and 1 215B. Whereas I'm having all the brain depths, it's annoying. Whereas on the other side we see potentially an E50M, a 215B, 3 AMX-54s, a Chieftain and an LT. In the meantime, I'm not sure if you can hear him, but my cat is meowing loudly outside my door. He wants in, and I'm like, no, not while I'm streaming. Because basically, it's not only distracting, but he would make all kinds of a mess. Half a minute left to go, and now Campon readied up in a 215B rather than E50M. And we'll shortly see what they're going to do with them. I always wonder, like, when it comes to maps like these, that with the mouse was a very aggressive move on base C. But in the end, it didn't work out for them, and they lost the mouse because of it. So let's see, here we go. Every time it shows the garage then, I always wonder, like, I did ready up, didn't I? And I know that I did. Just the anxiety mind, let's say. Beautiful boss mode camo on the mouse. I do like that camo. So now we have Jomon heading towards the A side. ID a bit more split up. We see some blind shots happening. Spartan Sword spotting Mamba as he crosses over. But Nishiki is already there. I am Shinja is also spotted Manhattan. Going quite forwards there. That is a cheeky move. Whereas Nishiki has almost kept the base. Kempon does not manage to decap him. Chieftain gets spotted. Does not get hit for that though, but Manhattan is in a very aggressive position. Base B is being camped now by I am Shinja. Sparta Sword doesn't really want to be there anymore. Mamba is careful. And now Jomon has a base advantage here and an ever-growing point advantage unless ID manages to do something about it. Mamba takes a bit of a hit. And now we have Manhattan Cafe moving in to shoot Campon. He does not get his shot in though, RNG not with him. But this is tricky, like, ID is sort of like boxed into a corner. And again, Manhattan's RNG is not working with him. Now we have the rest of the ID team coming up behind them. And they kind of just really need to do damage. Manhattan Cafe does get a shot in there. But with Clock moving in, going to say that L very, very aggressively there. He takes out, Kappas takes out Mamba. And ID seems to have the upper hand here, despite the base disadvantage. And it's kind of like Jomon was a bit unsure. Rainy Sunshine gets tracked again. They're taking over base A and base B. Rainy Sunshine does escape there. But they've lost so much HP. And they've lost the base now. My Lord RNG drops down. Skylar goes down. It's not all over yet. If they manage to kill Clock, which they do, and Shinja goes down, well, it is now 3v3. But now ID has the base advantage. And Chitanda is not looking too healthy. Whereas Spartan Sword has all of his HP left. The mouse is slow and cumbersome. My Lord RNG has been set on fire. Nishiki is not looking too healthy. And don't forget that now they are lacking a base. Namikaze wants to kill My Lord RNG. Does not get that shot in. Now has to focus on other targets, but that means that someone else can get behind him, namely Spartan Sword. And that's going to be the end of the mouse. 950 points already for ID. And this will be ID's game. Namikaze can't really do much about it. Too much HP, too many guns, too many bases. He does survive though, with a grand total of 157 HP. So that is the second game up and over. And the score is now 1-1. We are moving on to a different map. We're going to go to Ghost Factory, which looks like this. It is again a map that I quite like playing on. In tours it could be very tricky to spectate this because of the factory, but I'm actually using this. The only thing that's not vanilla about my game. I'm using a mod that allows me to fly through the buildings in free cam, and that makes all the difference when it comes to spectating free cam. Because otherwise, like, you would get, if you would hit anything within the walls of the factory, then you would jump on top of the factory, which basically meant you lost following all the action. So I'm kind of expecting a base D showdown, because that's what we've been seeing in tours. That being said though, when you have a team and you coordinate as a team and everything, you could technically go anywhere. Jomon completely ready for Ghost Factory with an LT, 3 AMX54s, a mouse, an E50M and a 215B. Whereas ID is still readying up. They still have 35 seconds left to go. "25 seconds, there we go, tanks are being changed. We see 2 Chieftain MK6, a 215B, a mouse, 2 AMX54s and an LT. And here we go. Let's have a look. I always wonder what the mats will do. Like, in randoms, it's so easy to just go A and have a look there. And that seems to be what Nishiki and Spartan Sword are both doing for either side. And both teams are heading towards the bases closest to them. Base B is not being kept though. But base C is. Manhattan Cafe has gone spotted for it. Now base A is being kept. Nishiki does decap it. And Spartan Sword knows that there's someone there now. Base B is being left alone right now. Shinja and my Lord RNG do lose a bit of HP for that. Mamba going for the cheeky B cap. At the same time, Chitanda actually gets murdered at base D. Being pushed. Namikaze is going to deal with them. Rainy Sunshine trying to do the same. Focus fire not quite there. We have Jomon pushing in. My Lord RNG still alive. Blocking Mamba, meaning that Skylar and Clock can actually shoot him from the back. And RNG. It's actually a ram kill by my Lord RNG. Manhattan not looking too healthy. This definitely seems to be ID's game. Nishiki still alive. Manhattan takes his head off, quite literally. Clock. No, it's Kampon that takes out Nishiki. And now we just have Kapasco's down. We just have Rainy Sunshine and Namikaze left. Base B is now being stolen. Namikaze gets hurt. And they kind of have to... Basically, the bases are their only chance because there's just too many guns at the same time. With ID having double the HP and more than double the guns. It is very unlikely that Jomon will win this round. Spartan Sword arriving at the back. Rainy Sunshine losing HP. The mouse being basically surrounded by tanks. Spartan Sword takes him out. And now it's just Rainy Sunshine who gets murdered by Skylar. And the game is for ID. Very well played here. ID basically absorbing the push from Jomon, starting with poor Chitanda at base D. I was like, my mum got home from walking Joe, and I heard her call something, but I couldn't hear what it was because I was already live. So I just texted her asking if everything was okay. She was like, I only yelled success, as in good luck. Because the thing is that when I hear her yell something, I'm always like, is everything okay? But luckily, yeah, everything is okay. Mum and I both have plenty of health problems, so together we're about one functioning person. So we can help each other out a lot. Which is good, to be honest. Less than a minute left to go before we go into the fourth game in this best of 7. Jomon taking in LT, 3 AMX 54s, and Mouse a Super Conqueror and a 215B. And ID is taking in LT, 2 215Bs, 2 AMX 54s, a Mouse, and potentially a Chieftain depending on what Kampon readies up in. Let's see. Oh, one of the AMXs is now a Chieftain. Basically, tanks are changing. Kampon takes a Chieftain as well, so we have 2 of those. So just a reminder, if you want to get rewards, you have to watch through the portal, make sure that you are logged in, have accepted cookies, and of course that the page stays active. And here we go. This is kind of like, with the map, it's actually a nightmare in boss mode though, because you can basically gravitate people inside the factory and they just go flying. Especially late game. Early game is not too bad, but late game I hate being there. Both light tanks again making a base A move, only this time Spartan Sword has got backup. Nishiki is being careful. Just going for the spot. He does get spotted. He does spot Namikaze all the way at the back there. Base B is getting capped. And Spartan Sword decides to not cap base A. Namikaze losing quite a bit of HP there. They now also know where Clock and Kempon are. A is being kept after all. Namikaze being very careful because they can guess that he's in that bush. Manhattan taking a bit of a bleed. But Jomon has base B. Chitanda losing a bit of HP. So far ID does not have a base though. And Nishiki is just carefully spotting, keeping an eye on things. And people often forget how important that part is. Information is everything in tool games like this. Manhattan and Namikaze are holding. Spartan Sword is moving in. Having a look-see to see if anyone is there. Not going into the base just yet though, but I think he's gearing up for it. Yes, he does do that. He's small enough to manage to cap it and stay hidden. But Jomon doesn't seem to be interested in looking to see who's where. Now though, Chitanda wants to attack. The thing is that ID has actually pulled away from there. And they're all in the building or behind it, going towards base D. So where they expected to find someone here, they find no one. Base D is now being capped. That means that Chitanda is now capping base A. B is still protected. But now basically, they just basically drove around one another. Namikaze is pulling back, which is a good move because he would be very called out. Nishiki also has to be careful. ID is going after base B. Ooh, that is a cheeky spot to cap in. My Lord RNG with a beautiful Harvester camo. Helping the cap. And now, ID has 3 bases. And yes, Jomon still has a bit of a point advantage there. But that's quickly going to change with only 1 base in their possession. They are at a bit of a risk. Nishiki ran around. Is going to find Kempon and Spartans. And he does land a hit, but he takes 2 in turn. B is taken again. Let's fly a little bit faster, shall we? Now we have Namikaze and Ishiki losing quite a bit of HP here. Namikaze getting shot from too many directions at once. They're focusing on Skylar. But Namikaze goes down first. And now I'm Shinja is pretty much in an awful position, also the primary target here. They want to take out Skylar. But Shinja actually gets ammo right there, which is obviously not helpful for Tujamon. They do take out Skylar. Kempon is losing quite a bit of HP as well. But Manhattan is now being focused on. ID is basically going after target for target. And that is working out in their favor. Chitanda is trying to deal with Spartan Sword. Rainy Sunshine. Again, losing HP very, very quickly here. Look at the amount of tanks that are just here. Rainy Sunshine goes down. And now it's just Titanda and Mamba versus no less than 5 tanks. And you can't angle against that many tanks. And you know that at this stage we're already 1k points as well. The game is full ID. The 3 base cap definitely helping them here. And adding the pressure to Jomon. And this is the thing, like now we're going to Faust, which honestly, first things first, is one of my favorite maps, closely behind Molendijk, which is my favorite one. Faust is one of those tricky maps where you basically have the tunnels and the bridges, so to speak, and it just makes for very interesting gameplay, not just regular, but also in tours. This is one of those maps where a lot can happen all at once in multiple areas, so it can be hard to follow, but it is a beautiful map. It's also one of the darker maps, which has my preference as well, to be honest. So that's where we're going next, but it is also a potential match point for ID. If they win this round, then they are through to the next round, and then Jomon is out. Whereas Jomon has to win 3 in a row for that to happen. So let's see, 45 seconds left. Jomon completely ready with an LT, 3 AMX-54s, 2 215Bs and an E50M. Whereas ID is sporting a Chieftain, 3 AMX-54s, a 215B, a Super Conqueror and an LT. I know that basically some years ago the 215B was basically the tank to drive and I absolutely hated it. Like the thing is, I don't get along with rear-mounted turreted tanks, and I'm not saying that I'm performing bad in them because that's also not the case. I just don't like them. It's not my preferred playstyle. And here we go. Let's see if ID can bring it home here. does look a little bit glowy, which also is another reason why I like the darker maps. The camos pop out more. So we have Nishiki and Chitanda heading towards base A. Spartan Sword is not going there to decap it. Well, he's not going there to cap it, but he is there to decap it if he spots Nishiki. But depending on where you stand, Chitanda does get spotted. They know that someone is there. And you see immediately the blind shots happening. This is one of the things I love about. He does not manage to decap it. He does get spotted for it though and loses a bit of HP. So now Jomon has the gap advantage. Now we have ID holding. Shots are happening. Not much HP has been lost yet. And of course it will be up to ID to make a move. Can they bring it home now? Or will they need another game or another? Because they do have the luxury of having multiple games to try and win the matchup. Oof. I think that was Strashny? Hope so. Going for the base B camp to not let them get away with getting too much ahead, points-wise. Chitanda not actually going into the down below to shoot him. There's about 100 points between them, just near enough. HP-wise, Jomon still has the advantage of about a K. But that's only a few shots with some of the tanks that they're sporting. We have Manhattan making sure that no one can push them there. Chitanda. This is tricky though, because we have Nishiki running around. But we have Charger and Cayman moving in. Ooh, Chitanda gets hit by Cayman there. And from all the way across by Kampon. And now base A is being stolen. Daytona is spotted. Can he decap it though? Yep, it's actually Chitanda that decaps it. But they are losing out on points from that base, and Chitanda is still getting shot from the other side of the map as well. They still decap it, but they only need to get to the point advantage, really. And Chitanda is not looking too healthy. He's about a 2-shot. Now they're capping together, making it more difficult. Nope. Spartan Sword dropping down. Manhattan is arriving as well, together with most of Jomon. That also means that the other sides are less protected. They want the kill, which is what they're going for. Manhattan pushing in quite aggressively. Big hit. Oof, that shot did not pen. And now Chitanda is pretty much a 1-shot. At the same time, we see ID pushing around the other side. Mamba gets taken out. Base C has been stolen. So has base B though. I Am Shinja goes down. ID slowly but surely seeming to turn things around. They are at a point advantage now with the kill that they had. Skylar's not looking too healthy though. Pulls back into the building to stay safe. Kampon moving back. Nishiki is there. Namikaze does not get hit by Kampon. And it will be up to... Oof, they're now stealing base B as well. Which is basically a trap. They have to move into that and have to lose a lot of HP to get there. But they can't afford to let them get the base. They don't get a kill. And ID gets the base. They do lose another life. But at the same time, unless more people die, they're going to win. And if Nishiki dies, which he does, ID has the game and has the matchup. Well played. Lots of point play here. All about the kills and the points. And ID deservedly going through here. So commiserations to Jomon. Because I believe that means that they are out. But very well played by ID. Basically, like, I always remember that quote from the Hunger Games, moves and counter moves. And that's basically what was happening here as well. Which is lovely. It's lovely to watch. So let's see how the rest of the matchups are going. They are still going. And let's have a look here. Kaiser won from Risk 4-1. That means that Risk is out, doesn't it? Oh, wow. Of all the teams to be out, I'm just going to have a, like, in my bracket thing. I'm surprised at that, honestly, because Risk is sort of like has been so much they've won so many tours, so many seasons. The brackets don't want to load for me. GG. Oh my god, the tour thing is like all confused the page. There we go. Just basically it's having issue loading. Oh well. In the meantime, I'm going to start some replays to entertain you a bit while we wait for the next game to start, which I think is like half an hour. Let me have a quick look. Yes, half an hour. Now we have the lower bracket semi-finals. So that would be the winners of these two matches that were going on right now. So ID versus, oh god, I literally just saw it. Kaiser, I believe. Yeah, Kaiser. That's the match that we will see next. And then after that, the winner of that match will face the winner of Rory versus RN tomorrow. And then after that, the winner of that will face the winner of Rory and RN. Totally not confusing. Basically, it's hard enough to follow the double elimination with 4 teams. It's a lot harder when you have to follow it with 8 teams. My mind gets confused. So, let's see. Half an hour of replays to go. Let's start with this one. Emil 1951 is actually a really lovely tank. It's something that I don't really play that much anymore. I don't know why it's not loading the brackets though. There we go. Brackets actually loaded now. So Risk is actually been knocked out. I'm surprised at that. Like, with the reputation that they've got and the way that they've carried many a season. He does eat one in turn, but he and his teammate are steadily murdering the Type 68 there. See, and I'm not saying that Kaiser isn't good, because obviously they are. I'm just surprised that Risk got knocked out this relatively early. It's still top 8. But still, you know? He's just being a bully now to the Ice 3. Clipping him as well. Oof, Mertos is not looking too healthy there. Around base C. Now he could potentially just... He wants to kill that guy. And he can outclip him. I would have just, yeah, promoted the hell out of him as well. He did get some damage for that, and nice little bounce there. That's a bit of luck though, because the Emule, as awesome as it is, does not have the most armor. Let's see. Now he's just fire though. So you could potentially clip him. See, this is the thing. I love clippers because of this very reason. It can be so cheeky. Like, if you manage to get your whole clip in, and you have a bit of support from the other side, certainly helps. Let's see, IS-3 is still there. Nice little bounce there. And that's the end of the IS-3, and of course he goes to immediately to a clip reload. There's only 2 people left now. But he's steadily done 4k damage in relatively short amount of time. And he should... I'm not sure. I don't think the SU could one-shot him. So I would be aggressive enough to just go for it. Especially when he's not looking at you. Oh, that is just mean. And that is meaner. First he tracks him, then he bounces. Poor SU. Yeah, this is what happens when the Emil works for you. It can be such a lovely tank. Like, when it was first released, it was quite strong. Now, not so much anymore, but it's still a fun tank. 4.8k damage, just casually done, really. Makes it look easy. Okay, so let's see what else have I got for you. I'm going to show some that I haven't seen yet before either. And after that I'll look at the bracket again to see if we know all the results yet. Lagundo, one of the most OP players from the NA server. And I say that basing my experience entirely on the replays that I've seen from him before, as well as the many years long experience in top tours. It's like proper top level. They are sort of wolfed back in together. Ooh. And I never knew Billie Eilish actually played Blitz as well. There are so many famous people that play Blitz, we've no idea. No, he's not done any damage just yet. But he's being careful. And now, oof, Henhouse is just rushing in, so that's basically cannon fodder at this stage. He's not going to survive for long. There we go. Casual kill. First damage done. Gun depression not found. I'd be way too impatient to play like this. I'm pretty much YOLO. I would have gone to circle. Even though he's playing it much better and safer, I don't have the... Oh, nice little fire. And there we have it, second kill. Nice. Bad shot, losing a lot of HP very, very quickly. Bad shot still alive, running off. It's down just 3 versus 5 though. And they're just... Oof. Ow. His teammate is getting murdered. And that one didn't go through. Oof. That was certainly helpful, though. The E3 is not happy. Wow, Billie Eilish is rude. So now it's Kolobanov time. He just has to be careful to... This is something that a lot of people forget. Oh, hello. He has to be careful there, though. Because that is going to hurt. And he does not have that much HP left now. Mobility. Okay, we're going to check that. Don't blame me, I did a lot of damage. Damage isn't everything, though. But yes, he survived for quite a bit and did damage. Let's see if Legundo can bring this home. E3 still complaining about no help. Jeez. This is the thing though, like a lot of people think that stuff like this is helpful or anything. If anything, it is distracting. And that means that it will actually be more difficult for Legundo to do what he needs to do. Oh, that bounce though, that's not fair. He's not been spotted for that though. His best option is to just keep running around in circles. He's got 3 minutes, he might be able to pull it off. Now at least the team seems to be quiet. Let's see. This is where a map like this can help or go to help. This might be tricky though. Nice little bounce. And another bounce. Nice. Oof. Not so nice. He has to be careful. The Minotauro is behind there somewhere as well. But he might be able to take him out before he reloads. Now he has to be very careful. He needs to take him out. Oh, and he does take a hit for it. But now, if he can troll the Minotauro into just going for him. This is why I meant. Oof, no, it didn't. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Well done. And the E3 is still talking trash. 7 HP? Really? But there we go. With 1 minute left to go. Legundo delivering a beautiful game here. Nice Kolobanov. We're also going to see what the rest of the team has done, honestly, because sometimes the biggest mouths have done the least. Yeah, the 183 did do quite a bit of damage. Captain, not Captain, but Captain Jack. Sniper? Not so much. But Legundo carried them all. Well played. See, when you're dead, like in EU, you can't talk anymore, which is a good thing because honestly, like all the useless natter and spam, you kind of have to read it in case it's useful. Most of the time it's not. But that also means that you basically you lose time and you lose focus because of all the spam in the chat. So basically, if you're dead, unless you have something useful to say that can actually help your team, just shut up. Just don't talk. regardless of what server you're on. Okay, so what else have we got? At least we don't have to fill too much time today. Let's have a look. I'm going to go with a game from Showers. Yes, in the description of the stream, there's a link to my Discord server if you want me to show off your replay, which has to be either an epic first class or an ace. You can post that on my Discord server in the tournament season replays channel. Let's see. Ah, thank you, Yoda. Also just want to take this moment to talk about Yoda. Like, if you haven't subscribed to him, definitely do so. He's one of the sweetest persons in game that I know. Like, he knows I struggle with depression, so what he does is that every morning I get 2 or 3 memes or dad jokes or whatever just to start my day with a smile. That's the kind of person Yoda is, and it's just so sweet. And it does help, because it does make my day start with a laugh. So I can't thank him enough for that. So again, if you haven't subbed to him, definitely do so. He deserves it. Showers here, basically running around, started off with camping in a spot where a match should pretty much never be. But after he had no targets there, he decided to move. And see, this is the thing, like, technically he is camping here as well, but at the same time he is on the mad side doing mad things. And if you have easy targets somewhere else, then yes, you have no reason to move. Nice. There, Yo is going to die. Basically, I would never tell someone to STFU. But the reason for that is that there are so many more effective ways. Like, I have messaged people before that were just talking and talking and talking. And just told them, do you realize how distracting your useless chatter is? And that it almost cost the game. Because people really don't think about that. And then if you lose, they're going to blame you for it. Even though it's literally their fault for spamming. But yeah, they are quickly losing teammates here. But this is always something that I like. Like, if you're in this position, and you're in a relatively quick reloading tank with a bit of armor, you can be such a bully to people, because they have to cross a long, long way in order to reach you. Look at how much HP has just been lost by the E100 right now. There we go. And it's just him and the Foch. He does eat one from the VK though. But he should be able to take him out. And he does. Foch got tracked there. Oof, he does bounce one and he does get hurt once. There we go. This is kind of like prioritizing targets. The 263, what he could have done here if he had wanted to win the game, is ignore the tank that is behind him and actually try to shoot the Foch, and they probably would have won that way. But because he's only thinking of his own HP here, it didn't work out. T95, missing that is definitely helpful. Posh hitting that is also definitely helpful. Bit too hasty there. Now if the Fosh running around, which is a good thing, I would have probably stayed at the rocks there because I like rocks, but I also like corpses. Corpses can work out really well as well. Let's see. He's letting the Fosh move all the way around. He did get spotted for that, so he knows the T95 is still there. Let's see. Now the Fosh is going to come up behind the T95. There we go. He's still looking at him. Now he's turning around, which is... This is always one of the things that I found funniest. Like, when you're getting shot from two directions, you can only focus on the one direction. Especially if you're in a TD. And of course, T95 has such juicy cupolas. There we go, the Fosh gets the kill. But this was good teamwork. I like games like that. Like accidental teamwork between two players. Casual 6.8k damage. And he makes it look easy. Fosh had a lovely game as well. This was really good teamwork together. So let's see, we have time for one more before the room invite is up. Let's go for this one then. Thank you, being human. Meantime, my back is absolutely killing me. But I've got a nice little electric pillow that is just basically a lifesaver that way. The Death Stars kind of wanted to go into the desert and Yusuf was like, I do not. So now they're holding in town. This thing is so useful to see who's spotting you though. Like, can X or Y actually see you? Got some nice assisted damage there. There's a Kranwagen. Cheeky shot there. Oh, I need to play my Yo more. I finally got it to rank 50. But I absolutely love it. There are so many good tanks in the game though. I need to play the TVP more as well. Still no use if decides to go to the other side of the building and have a look-see. The Kranwagen actually moved there. He so far preserved most of his HP. Kranwagen pulled back. TVP not so much, but he is standing there. Track shot on the TVP. But then he's behind the building again. This shot though, the fact that that band is just insane. It is such a dangerous position to be in because you're not entirely certain where the rest of the tanks are. And that's the first damage he's done. Let's see. Death Star is giving him the evil eye. Did shoot now though. I would have probably moved to the desert and kept base A at this stage. That's me, because I just keep playing Supremacy rather than anything else. That shot not going in. Let's see. Even when I've watched the replay before, it's always nice to see it again because you notice different little details. Nice cheeky shot there. Let's see, TVP arriving at the back should be taking out soon though. There he goes. 4v4, but they are at a point disadvantage. This is probably why I would have tried to go to A, but his team is very low on HP. So many potential kills there. There we go. There's Death Star. Randomly. And I like how the FE is just not even paying attention to him. I'm not sure what is up with that. This is why I would have loved to have Adrenaline though. Because now he's kept the base. It's 2v3. And he killed it just before getting a Coloban off. And he takes the hit in order to take out the Kranbach. And now it's just the 1A3. And even though they're both... Well, no, I'm not sure if the 1A3 is a one-shot for him. But Yusuf is a one-shot for the 1A3. But he now has 2 bases, so he can risk running around. Because even if base C is capped, which is now happening, he could just go to base A and cap that. This is also where I would probably be too impatient. I would have wanted to kill him. Whee! He only needs 1 base, really. And this is also where I would be a bad player for this position. Because I would be too impatient. I would have wanted to go for it. And I would have risked it for a biscuit, even though there's no real reason for it. You can just wait, because he's got the victory. That's no problem. Relatively close, but the 1A3 was waiting for him to make a mistake. And I probably would have made the mistake if I'm honest. Beautiful game there. Lovely ace. And again, makes it look so easy. I can't believe he got away with being behind the buildings and doing as much damage as he did though. Like he did 2k damage before he was even shot once. So yeah, with all that behind us, room invite should be up in not too long. Yeah, just about a minute. Let's have a look. Nova managed to go through to the grand finals with 4-3, sending Rory into the lower bracket. Rory, I believe, should only fight tomorrow. Yes, they start tomorrow. So we have Kaiser versus ID next. And then after that, whoever wins that versus Rory tomorrow, and then whoever wins that versus Aaron tomorrow. So that will be the grand finals then. I still can't believe Risk is just out. They have such a legacy. So yeah, now we just wait for the room invite to pop up, which should be any second now. There we go. And obviously exiting straight away to avoid anyone readying up yet and being seen. Oh yeah, Yoda definitely deserves a medal for that, honestly. Yeah, now we just wait a little while. I've got so many offers, like, look at this. And more, and more, and more. This is a cool camo, though. Obviously, I'm not getting anything on my APAC account because it's not useful. But then we have all the different draws here. Also not doing any of that on this. Though I am highly tempted. Go back. I'm highly tempted to want the avatar because aside from my own avatar, this is my second favorite one. And of course, I like the background as well. Which, of course, it doesn't show because of the mod. Oh, bless. I like how you're playing tanks that you see here, Lettuce. I like that you're giving them a chance. 40 seconds left before we can go into the room. Yeah, I hardly ever play on my APAC account. I think the games that I had have been, yeah. 5 games in tier 1. Which tank was that even? P26, and I think one of the old ones. Ah, my poor MS1. I love the MS1. I want it back. Didn't get any good medals. No, I did not. I got a patrol duty. Look at my average damage in this deck though. 51. Something did not quite go well there. But yeah, basically the only thing that I'm doing here is tour spectating. So basically when you look at my stats, it looks like I played 280 battles, but no, I've got 272 tour spectating battles. Oh, that was funny though. There we have it. We are going to New Bay. New Bay, of course, has its own map preview as well. I always, like, for me, this is the New York map. And it's, I don't mind it. I like playing on it. I'm not sure I like it for tours, because the games can be either really brawly or just really stretched out. But it is interesting to watch, to be fair. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. If they're actually going up the ramps or capping A, or just going to the park and capping things there. 1 minute and 35-ish seconds before we go into the first game. And again, the pressure is on. Whoever loses this is out of the tournament. Because this is the lower bracket. People have already lost once, they can't lose again. Silent Cougar trying for my uprising competition, which is today's last day for that, actually. Like, date-wise, the battle has to be from 28th, 29th, or 30th. But still, it's fun. And of course, mind the funny moments as well. Don't think I've got a lot of entries for that just yet. But Uprising has plenty of funny moments. So yeah, 50 seconds left to go before we see the first game. Again, it's a best of 7, meaning that the team that reaches 4 victories first will be through and the other team will be out. And we see that Kaiser is ready with 2 215Bs, 3 AMX 54s, an E50M, and a mouse versus 2 chieftains, 2 AMX 54s, 2 super conquerors, and an LT. LTs can be so important though, just with the running around and the spotting and not getting spotted in turn. Whereas the E50Ms are a lot larger, literally in size. Let's have a look. And here we go. LLP not actually going to the ramps, they are getting in each other's way a little bit there. And for the other side, it's the same thing. We have Spartan going to have a look at base B. He's not actually going to cap it though. And we have C being capped. B now being capped as well. And we have LLP getting spotted, but not spotting anyone in turn, which means that they probably know that the light is there. First block. Oof. Spartan losing a bit more HP. And a bit more. And a bit more. And he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Let me go. Cayman losing a bit of HP as well. But most of Kaiser has bled a little as well. Lord RNG is not looking too healthy. But no skill ace is losing a lot of HP as well. We have Skylar there though. Getting brutally focused. No skill ace is still alive, if barely. And Skylar is steadily losing HP as well. Nuggies and Fries is actually stuck behind the turret of his fallen comrade. He does not get that shot in. Skylar goes down. That turret was costly though. Nuggies and Fries surviving another reload. Potentially. I am Fly goes down. Nuggies and Fries goes down. ID has a gun disadvantage here. Kaiser slowly but surely carrying. No skill ace goes down, but there goes Kappas. Only 3 tanks left for ID. Only 2 tanks left for ID. With Campon being the healthiest, Spartan goes down as well, and now it's just Campon. And he gets tracked. He does get another shot in, leaving LLP with a grand total of 4 HP, but LLP gets the kill. And the first game is for Kaiser. Basically, like there's around 5k difference damage between the teams. But ID, basically, I think it started with Spartan just being caught out, losing so much HP. It caused a reaction from ID, and Kaiser just basically absorbed it. They held very well here. One and a half minute left to go. Kaiser now ready with 2 215Bs, an E50M, 3 AMX 54s, and a mouse. And ID is taking 2 chieftains, a 215B, 2 AMX 54s, an LT, and a super conqueror. And I kind of feel for Nuggies though, because he was basically hampered by the turret of his teammate that just landed behind him. And that impeded his movement. Stuff like that can happen, and in this case, it worked out well for Kaiser. All those little things together. I think that it probably would have gone better if Spartan had kept early on. At the same time, that is me saying from a random player perspective, because with Tours, they would have already known that he was there then, and that could have also meant something else, because they weren't sure where the rest of the teams were at. Let's see. Countdown clock has begun. This is one of Silent Cougar's least favorite maps. I don't blame you for that either, to be honest. It's relatively team dependent. But let's see, here we go. We have Spartan Sword going up the ramp. No, he's not going up the ramp actually. He's waiting to see if he spots anyone there. No one is there. I'm Fly is moving there. Base B is getting kept. Oof, Sherry taking hits as he crosses over. No problem. Doesn't seem to go in for the shot. No, he does now. Manages to get them in without taking one himself. Bit of tricky stuff going on here though, because they're all there. Campon landing one in LLP. And we have Sherry and Toxicity holding. Basically, this is what I meant though with so many different battles happening. ID is sort of being forced to push now. They want to take out Skylar. It's not quite working out. Focus fire is not quite there. From both teams, to be fair. Toxicity is almost gone though. Y is moving in. Skylar, no problem, not looking too healthy. Which is the problem, of course. Sherry actually eating the shot from his own teammate. Campon and no problem go down at the same time. Toxicity not looking too healthy. Sherry and no skill ace are moving in. Toxicity goes down. And now we have Skylar being taken out. Y is dealing with My Lord RNG. He's going to try and survive, but he gets taken out by Nuggies there. Kappa's not looking too healthy. Gets tracked. I am Fly. He's being taken out. Kappas goes down. I am Fly. Still alive if Belly does not get that shot in. Sherry. Oof, Nuggies survives a little bit longer. The RNG is not quite with these teams. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. LLP. Not looking too healthy. Gets taken out. Nuggies goes down. Sherry. Facing off with Spartan. There goes My Lord RNG. And we have Cayman at the back there. Spartan is pulling back. We have no skill ace moving in, but Cayman is running off. I wonder if they're going to go for the base then. Because the thing is that right now no skill ace has the HP to do the hunting. But Sherry. Ooh, that did not get... Leaving him with 83 HP. No skill ace. Spawning Cayman right now. And takes him out. And the game is for Kaiser. And honestly, it could have really gone either which way here. Basically, just the focus fire from ID was not quite there. And Kaiser just kept the tanks alive for longer. Score now 2-0. No pressure just yet. It is a best of 7. But we are moving on to Desert Sands. Which is where we saw Yusuf's beautiful Leo game. It is one of those maps with lots of basically ridge lines that you can use. I love being here with a tank that has some gun depression and a little bit of turret armor. That's my favorite way to play, to be honest. The thing is that in tours, when they cross over into the desert, we often see a lot of fire lines as they try to shoot one another, even if people are not spotted. It's kind of like we guesstimate that they are there. And we see Kaiser now ready with 3 E50Ms, a Chieftain, 2 AMX 54s, and a 215B. Whereas ID is taking 2 Chieftains, a 215B, 2 AMX 54s, an LT, and potentially another Chieftain if Clock raises up in it. No, he goes for an AMX 54. Let's see. "14 seconds left to go before we go into the third game." Countdown clock has begun. And here we go. Into the game we go. I do like Desert Sands though. It is a lovely map to play on. Also, like if I'm heavy, I prefer to go base seaside and just see if I can cap the base and then just be sneaky around the corner and everything. So let's see. We have the E50Ms heading towards the plane. Spartan Sword doing the same thing, but he's holding at the bush to make sure that he can see if anyone is there. Blind shots happening. No one's gotten shot yet. My Lord RNG has been spotted. And now we have ID basically a bit everywhere. Kaiser also has to be careful. They are going for the spots. They are not alone though. No Problem and Toxicity are still there, but unspotted. Why? Makes a tricky move. That could have been shot for that. And now we have Spartan going for base C, with my Lord RNG making a move. Takes a hit. Crosses over into the desert. Now they know that Sherry is there though. Clock has also been spotted, also takes a hit for it. And this is the thing, like I Am Fly has been spotted. Sherry is making a push alone. No skill ace can't really help him. Y is moving in as well though. This is a bit of a tricky move. Y lost a whole lot of HP very, very quickly. I Am Fly is helping. Clock is the preferred target. LP loses a whole lot of HP very, very quickly. Turns around. Narrowly gets missed there. And now they're going after my Lord RNG. Kappa's not looking too healthy. Casually camping base B. Oh, he manages to survive another reload. Kappas goes down. LP's not looking too healthy. Oh, big hits into my Lord RNG there. LP finally gets taken out. Sherry has to be careful. But so does my Lord RNG. Spartan Sword is moving in. In the meantime, we have Skylar being set upon in the middle. Gets taken out as well. Kaiser has by far the HP, well, the gun advantage as well. But now, I Am Fly goes down, but right after he takes out my Lord RNG. Spartan Sword very much looking healthy. Sherry has to be careful as well. Campon goes down, leaving only Spartan Sword and Cayman. Cayman getting focused here. Sherry goes down, but it is still 4 versus 2. And even though Spartan Sword is still looking pretty healthy, Cayman is not. Toxicity literally dropping over the train tracks here to go after him. And he does need to... There we go. And in the meantime, Spartan's sword is being focused on by Y. And gets murdered by no problem. Y and no problem. Oh, the names though. Well played by Kaiser here. Again, think it's mainly the focus fire. The idea is focusing just a bit too much on different targets here. And Kaiser making full use of that. So now, potential match point for Kaiser. If they win the next round, then ID is out. And ID has to win 4 in a row for that to happen. To knock Kaiser out. So they will have basically a tough job on their hands. Not impossible, but with the way that Kaiser is playing, it's definitely not going to be easy for them. 1 minute left to go. And we see Kaiser ready with 3 E50Ms, a Chieftain, 2 AMX 54s, and a 215B. And ID is ready with 4 E50Ms, a Chieftain, and 2 AMX 54s. Curious to see what's going to happen with that amount of E50Ms on the battlefield. Like, if they wolf back together, that could be absolutely glorious. But yeah, ID will have a tough job ahead of them. Ten seconds left to go. Countdown clock has begun. The pressure is on ID here. They have to win the next 4 games in order to stay in the competition. And here we go. And Kaiser, in the meantime, has 4 games to win 1 game. I've seen weirder things happen. It's not impossible. Kaiser focusing on getting to the desert. We see already shots happening. Y gets shot there. Oh, Spartan's sword losing quite a bit of HP there. But no skill ace has to be careful. He's getting shot from a lot of directions. Now being farmed up close. Oof. And he has Campon is making full use of that plane. Slowly but surely just farming. And he is being forced back now. Because there's just too many people. But he was right in the face of no skill ace here. And it made all the difference. Y is now there as well. And they have to be careful. No skill ace can't afford to lose more HP than he's already lost. HP wise, ID has a small advantage. Now they also have a gun advantage. And we are entering the brawl stage. I am Fly is being focused on the one side. The shots are not all lining up here. I am Fly gets taken out. The focus fire from Kaiser is not found this match. And ID has the right. Ooh, that was almost a ram kill, but not quite. Cayman gets an extra head, but he dumps it straight away. And now it is 6 versus 2. And this game will definitely be for ID. So like I said, not all is lost. And they die at the same time. And the game is for ID. This was just a big chaotic brawl though. Let's see. 3-1. We have seen comebacks before. Like I said, it's not all lost. We are moving on to a new map. We're going to go to Vineyards, which again is one of my more favorite maps because of the ridgeline that is possible there. I just absolutely love playing like that, like with the ridgeline and of course supremacy. And then you cap the base and you move forwards a little bit. And then you hope to not get absolutely murdered for it. But you try to be a little bit cheeky. With tool games though, a lot can be said about the way that teams spot. Because there's a few very aggressive ways of spotting that we have seen in tournaments. And sometimes that works out really well. And sometimes the spotter get absolutely massacred. So seeing Campon take a Batchat, I'm really curious to see what he will do with it. ID taking 1 Batchat, 2 Chieftains, a 215B, 2 AMX 54s and an E50M versus an AMX 50B, 2 E50Ms, 2 Super Conquerors, a 215B and a Mouse. So no light tank for Kaiser and no AMX 54 for Kaiser either. Let's see. Again, potential match point for Kaiser. They only need to win 1 more game. ID has to win 3 in a row. But again, not impossible. And here we go. Let's have a look. I want to see what the Batchat does, to be honest. Also, especially from that side, like we've seen aggressive spotting happening from this side, where they just cross under the bridge and have a quick look. Campon going straight into the cap. And no one from Kaiser is actually heading in the direction except for the Mouse, who will take quite a bit to get there. And Campon is deciding to not be there anymore. Kaiser's also not going for the base. Not base C either, I mean. An ID is now holding. They have the point advantage. We have the E50Ms. We see the first shots happening. First blood has been drawn. No skill. Oof, shoots at Campon but doesn't hit. And now Campon is made to be on the defensive. Takes a hit but manages to escape relatively unscathed. Base A has been capped though, and base C has been capped now as well, giving Kaiser the point and base advantage. I Am Fly has help from No Problem. My Lord RNG and Y are losing quite a bit of HP. They want to get the kill. My Lord RNG has to be very careful where he's putting his tank. Clock is now being set upon by the Mouse. Basically Campon trying to go after Y. Misses the first shot. Hits that one though. And only has 1 shot left. And now Y survives with 19 HP and takes down Campon. That first miss was very, very expensive. I Am Fly not looking too healthy either. Cayman gets taken out. There goes my Lord RNG. Kaiser is bringing it home. 2 more guns gone. And now it's just Skylar and Clock who are there. No Problem is actually just holding. Skylar goes down. No skill ace gets an extra head. But again, they dump it. And with Clock being dead, the game and the matchup are for Skylar. Are for, not Skylar, are for Kaiser. and ID is knocked out. Massive congratulations to Kaiser, taking it home like this. That was a very ballsy move though, pushing through the city like that. And then just going for it. But it did give them the advantage, and with the mouse holding base A, together with no problem, they did a fab job. So that is the end of the matches today. Let's see if the... Yes, the other ones are also over. So this was the only one, I think, actually. So tomorrow we start with Kaiser versus Rory, and whoever wins that, following that in the grand finals against Road Nova. And I do think that there's a match for 5th place as well at some point. No, I thought so. Maybe only on EU. I'm not sure. I think I saw that somewhere. But yeah, tomorrow Kaiser versus Rory, and then whoever wins that versus Road Nova. We still have just under half an hour to go by the time you hear this, before the timer stops. So I will be filling that with replays, because why not? And let's see, what have I got for you? And let's look at another Leo game. Leo is one of those tanks that I know it's a good tank, but it lacks the turret armor to make it one of my favorite tanks, because I just like that ridge lining, and when you can get shot in the face too easily, it doesn't quite work well. I also just want to point out that though ID has been knocked out now, they are placing 4th in the tour as a whole. Which is of course still a good accomplishment, so even though they lost this, people shouldn't... I can't think of the English word. They shouldn't feel bad about it, basically. They should still be proud of what they've accomplished, as well as be proud of what... of how far they came. Ooh. 30B was actually shooting for the bush there. There's another Tonk there. He's not quite pushing though. But yeah, Leo has laser accuracy, and it can be such a beautiful tank. I don't like it all that much. There we go. That's the end of the... Ooh, there's a Death Star there. You do not want to get shot by that. Let's see. Death Star not paying attention. E4 is dead now though. It's pretty brave of him to just try to drive away, rather than actually trying to deal with the Leo. I mean, now it's too late, it's not going to work. Poor Death Star. Stupid thing is though, like, when I'm thinking about the brain derps that I've gotten, for some reason I have a lot more brain derps like here now in the afternoon than I actually do later on in the evening. I don't get it. But yeah, I do know what it's where it's coming from. And I have adjusted my meds, but it takes a few weeks for that to kick in. So not much I can do for now, except wait and hope I feel better soon. Cheeky little shot there. Of course, the mouse is now arriving as well. This is the only thing we actually had the first time I watched this. We had a discussion about this. Like, this is something that he could have done differently and might have affected the game. Because he is so focusing on the mouse now, he could have taken out the rinoceronte. And instead he's focusing on the mouse, which is partially understandable, but it's the rinoceronte that is killing his teammate. And if he'd taken him out earlier, it might have secured victory, because he would have still had a gun on his side as well. Of course, Leo there as well. There's just too much HP facing him. And there's just... he has no chance that way. And now we have this special player, let's say, in the VK72 that is unfortunately not going to win this. Spoiler alert. And that was just painful to watch though. Like, you could have pulled back a little bit. You could have tried getting alongside him. You could have been shooting Pramo in his face or in the cupola. And he's trying. He's really trying. But it's not going to work out for him. Of course, it is also a Kolobanov situation, so the stress is real. And the type is playing well, to be fair, so it's not all the VK's fault. Of course, I found this funny though. He falls down, but he's already dead by then. And then the type decides to fall down with him. He could have crushed him to death if he hadn't been shot right before. But like, doing this amount of damage and then losing, that's just painful. I always feel for people this happens to, because especially when you look at the rest of the team damage-wise, not judging all they did, mind you, because there's always situational things there that are happening, and people could just be basically focused on and absolutely wrecked. Like with the E4 that got Death Starred. But it is painful when you know that you've done that much and it's still not enough to win. Let's see, by the time you hear this, there will be 20 minutes to go on the portal timer, so we have 20 minutes to fill with replays. Oh, I think I know which game this was. Yeah, this was a good game. I still like it. I needed to win in, or get XP or damage or something in French TDs. So I decided to play the Foch. Because basically when it comes to French TDs, there's not really any that I particularly like. So when I was tuning with Amin and we were having a good run, I was like, I might as well and try and do this. So at first I thought that I would be doing the actual normal TD thing and do the campy camp. Which is not something that I usually do because I don't like camping. It just feels really, really useless. But then it also, basically, when I'm not spotting anyone, and I'm like, the people that I want to shoot are not here, I tend to just be too impatient to stay. Especially now that we know that 4 players at least are not on the site that we're at. Hello there. That was useless. But he's not aiming at me, it's fine. I do get a nice shot into him though. And then I bounce one, which is also fine. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna kill him next reload, absolutely fine. And that felt so stupid because I was just actually getting stuck against the rock here. And he actually got another shot in before I actually managed to kill him, which was quite useless to be fair. So now we don't know exactly where they are at. So I decided to just camp a little bit, just to force them to come to us, basically. But then there appeared a juicy FV, and I needed CD kills, and I was like, oh, I want that one. And by the time I actually get there, he's lost so much HP already. But I do kill him. And then I still don't know exactly what the IS-7 was doing, because he wasn't shooting me. So I just casually land one into him, and then he misses. It's fine. So we still have the Batchat there in the grill. And the T-54, and I see a waffle, and I'm like, oh, juicy targets, and more TDs, which I need. And I do not want him to shoot my 2-mate. So he's gone. Grill's just fired. I don't want to reload my clip just yet. Not done the most damage just yet so far either. And then of course that didn't quite go as intended either. Grill landed a shot. And I kind of want to go after him, but he actually drops down to my teammate, and I'm just like, oh my god. If he shoots me in the bum, that's not gonna go well. There we go. And now it's just the T-54 and the Batchat that are left. Type 71 is holding in the base. I kind of just wanted him to push, but he is turning around, making it a little bit hard for me to push past him. But I've got the spiffy speed boost. And actually now Amin is making it so that I can't shoot him. By accident, that is. And now the Batchat is there. And I decide to reload. I know he's going to run off. So the only thing that I can do is make myself a target here. And just go for the base cap and see if we can get away with that. Because he's run off. He could technically be anywhere. And I wasn't sure which way he was going to be appearing at. So then Amin slowly came back. And then I'm just going to use the rocks as certain cover. Amin going up top, which means that I no longer need to keep my eye on that side. So I decide to look at the other side, because the reasoning is that it's the most logical that he will come on either side to try and shoot me / us. So he will have to come to reset the base at some point. Logically speaking, that ridge is where I would expect him. So Amin is holding there. And I'm just casually capping, patiently waiting, expecting him there. We're nearing the 80-point marker. And there he arrives. And I shoot him. And he shoots me. And now I know that we have to catch him. But Amin is actually more prepared than I am that way. And he kills him before he can actually run off. Which is probably what saved the game. We could have technically kept together. That was a lovely little game. Not an ace though. But I'm still pretty proud of that. And I like how the Force actually now has a normal name here, because of the mod it was called very weirdly before. So let's see, we've got 30 minutes left to go. More replays. Oh, let's look at this one again. Same map. Like, I wish that the replays would be clearer in what it is. Like, you have the date and the time right now. And then a tank name that is not always consistent with what the tank is actually called. So it's hard to keep track of what the replay is actually of, to be honest. Unless you were to rename them yourself. I just can't really be bothered with that. So it's partially my own fault, to be fair. Oh yes, I hate the kill mission, especially TD kill mission. Like when you need to kill lights or mets, that's a lot easier. I just go to tier 3. But when you have to kill TDs, you have to find a tier where there are TDs, and then you have to manage to get the kills. It's really annoying. IS4 is being way too YOLO there. Surprisingly, he hasn't lost a ton of HP for it. He will, though. Nice shot. Casually capping the base as well. Oof. And now the Bat Chat is going after the sheriff. Oof, he... Murder. 5v5. Project Murat, I need to drive that more as well, honestly. It's not that bad a tank, I just keep driving other things. Tier 9 also looks particularly fun. I just not really bothered. I just free XP the line, so I have it. I just don't really go for it. Nice little fire as well, which is certainly helpful. Leaving him with a grand total of 3 HP, but there he goes. Or V4, not sure where the Murat went. There he is. All the way at the back already. And they've still got quite a few healthy tonks. I would have gone for the cap there. Just to add the pressure. Instead of getting the pressure. Yeah, poof. That was very much needed as well. Death Star has been spotted as well. You kind of have to deal with the targets that you have. At the same time, you have to be careful not to get farmed too much. He's in a relatively good position, as long as nice job by the Death Star there. Making it 2v2 all of a sudden. I think it looks like the FE is going to cap the base. Which is not necessarily a bad call. But when you know that there are 2 players that you need to deal with. Nice. Is it Type 70? I think Type 71 is AFK actually. Yes, he is. And that did not pen, which is unfair. But he kind of has to unalive the VK72 first. Because that would be the biggest threat, especially with the type of line. What? I would advise against using HE against the super heavy. Chances of not doing the damage that you want it to do are high. Now, of course, it's only 14 HP. But I would have premoed him just to be safe. There we go. And now he just has to find the AFK type. She, I should say. I'm so used to everyone being male, but this is she. He's on the other side. There he is. One and a half minute left to go. That should easily be enough to farm an AFK type. Let's see. Nope, there's no way you can pen that. Not that either. And now you just need one more reload. I always like shooting juicy behinds, just to be on the safe side. And there we go. Casual 7.4k damage. And she makes it look easy. Like all the replays that I've got, they make it look so casual. Even though it's definitely not easy. Well played there though. Lovely little game. I wonder what happened with the tune, because when someone from a tune goes AFK, that is tricky, because it must have been a connection issue or something. Like, the Super Conqueror also did no damage, but he did quite a bit of XP, so he did do stuff. Let's see, by the time you hear this, there are 5 minutes left to go. So I'm going to end with Morinka's game, because we can. I swear, I did not pick them out for this. So basically, this is the Lagoon replay section. Also, just to point out, the enemy tune are from one of the pro clans on EU. It's always tricky to call someone to focus on a tune though, because it could have the desired effect. It could also cause your team to go YOLO at them, thinking that that's going to work. So you always have to be careful about that. You want the GDs to move as well. Also, just want to point out that 60p and the Kranwagen here have one of my favorite camos in the game. The blue butterfly one is actually, that's why I had made it part of my order, because it's just so beautiful. I really love it. No idea what's being said there. Kranwagen was also one of those tanks that I played it so much before. But now there's just so many tanks out there that I just can't really be bothered. There's just other tanks there that I prefer. So when you have this, he's just focusing on the... Oof, nice little cheeky shot there. And they're already 2 tanks down. Which is of course an issue as well. And he knows that the grill is out there somewhere, so he has to be careful with that. And he does eat one from him. Let's see. Just needs to have all his shells loaded. Go, go, go. And this is actually one of the enemy Toon players from Vale that he took out here. Which is important later on. Because that does make their team more vulnerable, let's say. Let's see. Cheeky little shot there. It's really the replay, isn't it? Just the whole way that it's jumping. And there's someone in their spawn, which we now know is the E4, I think. I'm very bad at recognizing the tiny tank icons. Yes, E4. Of course, now it's just 2 versus 4. And the poor Hori is getting some shots in, but is running relatively low on HP. And now it's 1 versus 4. One of which is from Vale. Just want you to keep that in mind. Let's see. This is also where I would be too impatient. But that's my biggest weakness in this game. I'm a relatively good player. I can do good things and get good results and everything, but I'm really impatient. And I generally can't be bothered. This moment here is one of the luckiest ones ever. That little tracking moment gave him enough time to take out the Vale player. No. That is just that my 60 TP camo was from Amma's order, so from the order that I had with my background and everything. I really so love that camo though. I'm really glad that they could put it in my order, because basically what they said is the rarer the camo you ask for, the more difficult it will be for us to get approval for it. So I'm really, really happy that I got the blue butterfly camo in there. Let's see. Yes, here's 1.5 minutes left. He is being careful. I'm also like, I would be so stressed out about the time here. Let's see. There's only one in there. And there's only a minute left. Then you'd still have to find the other two somehow. HE? No? Okay, that works. So now they either have to go for him and get him killed, or he's going to kill them. But this is tricky stuff. There's the grill. So that's one. But then he still needs to find the other. That blind shot though. And then the concept 1B bounces, but actually was just on a silver platter that way. Because he can take the hit, but he will out-reload them, and he should be able to kill him with this shot. And he does. And it's not a 7k damage game, but so close. Like, there were only a few seconds left, and it worked out. Beautiful game with a beautiful camo. And a lovely ace and colo. So that is basically it for today. We are going to be back. Well, I'm going to be back tonight to stream the EU server. And of course, tomorrow I will be back to stream Kaiser versus Rory, followed by whoever wins that versus Road Nova. So thank you all for watching. Special thanks to Yoda for minding the chat for me. And I will be seeing you guys later. Bye bye.